Howdy folks, thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome to the channel. And today I have to really reconsider one of my longest standing biases that I've had against a guitar brand. Going back years and years and some more years, I looked at Squiers. You know, that's for beginners. That's, you know, your cheap, crappy, the kind of thing that once you learn your fourth chord, you're ready to upgrade to something better. That said, not too long ago, I decided to buy one. They came out with this new series, Paranormal Series. Some pretty cool looking guitars. I'll grant them that. And plus, I've heard people say good things about Squiers. Nowadays, at least. Why not try one? So that's what I did. I bought one. I unboxed it here on the channel. Well, now it's time to take a look at it. So here it is. It is the Toronado. It's pretty. No matter, we'll see about the quality, but it is certainly a pretty guitar. And it's listed as Lake Placid Blue, and I'll get into that more later because, well, I'll talk about that later. But again, it's a pretty guitar. How does it play? How does it feel? Well, I'll get into that later too. But for now, just suffice to say that a lot of what I've always thought about Squiers, well, I'm really starting to wonder why. What was it justified to begin with? I don't know. But first, let's take a look at what all's in this thing, what it's made from. We'll check out the specs. So what are all the parts that make up the whole here? Well, let's start with the woods. The body is poplar. The neck is maple. And the fretboard, Indian laurel. So, and of course, it's a offset shape, which I like. I've never owned an offset style guitar before, so that's cool. Gloss finish, by the way, as you can probably see. The neck is also gloss. I would have preferred maybe a satin neck, but it is gloss. It still feels okay. That's fine. It is what they describe as a slim C shape, and it's comfortable. It's a very comfortable guitar to play. as I said, Indian laurel fretboard, pearloid inlays, 22, uh, tall, thin. I think that's how they describe it. Narrow, tall. That's what they call it. Narrow, tall frets, and they feel pretty good. Uh, well, I'll get into the build later. We have a synthetic bone nut. Synthetic. I mean, well, whatever synthetic bone nut means. Um, Obviously, six Cluson style tuners. Unbranded. It doesn't say Squier or anything on them. Um, they do the job. What bridge? Let's talk about the bridge because I'm a little confused. I do not. Let's see. Let's get this up there. If you recognize that, I don't recall another guitar with this style. It is a hardtail bridge um, with your Strat style individual saddles here, the bent steel kind. They are uh, stamped with the Squier name on them. Nothing special about that, but the bridge itself, I'm not familiar with this. So if you want to comment below if you know uh, where this style bridge originated or if this is something new, I don't know. Totally, I'm just clueless on that. Um, we have four knobs here, two volume, two tone. Nothing split. There's no push pull or anything. And I can tell you, I'll put up a picture. Very nice to see full size pots in the control cavity. So that's always a plus. I also should mention it is as with the other Fender offsets, it is a 24 and 3/4 inch scale. Did I say? I did mention the fret, 22 fret. What else? I talked about the tuners. Pickups. Let's talk about the pickups. Well, the computer wants to talk about the pickups too. They are atomic. What do they call them? Squier atomic humbuckers. I'm not familiar with Squier atomic humbuckers at all. I can tell you that they are fairly high output. I measured the bridge pickup at what was it about almost 16 ohms, 16 or 15.90 ohms, I believe it was. The neck pickup a little less at, let's see, I got it written down over here. Let me look. At 10.12 ohms. And of course, in the middle position, kind of splitting the difference at 6, right at 6 ohms, 6.03 ohms. So that's what the pickups are. I can tell you they sound pretty good. I'm not complaining about them at all. So I think that pretty much covers the specs. You have your Squier branded back plate here, and that's pretty much it. So let's move along and well, let's talk about how well it's put together. When I pulled this guitar out of the box, I really didn't know what to expect because, well, I haven't played a whole lot of Squiers. I haven't paid attention to any of the guitars in that line at all. So, and it's not really a standard Squier anyway. It's part of a new series, the Paranormal Series, kind of like the parent company. They've got Paranormal and Parallel Universe. So Squier doing much the same thing, but again, I'm not familiar with the products. So I also Well, there's things about it that I'm also I've never owned an offset guitar before, so that's something a little different for me. Needless to say, I did not have a lot of expectations. But when I pulled it out of the box, the first thing that hit me right off the bat was it just looks pretty. It's a stunningly beautiful guitar. I love the blue, the the Lake Placid blue, and well, I'm going to get to that in just a little bit. I've got some questions, but again, it doesn't look or even feel like a cheap guitar. From the multi layered tortoiseshell pickguard, the metal tone and volume knobs, they all feel really nice. Come to find out, full size pots in here as well. They're unbranded. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they're probably not CTS pots, but you know, they do a good job. But again, the neck feels nice. It's Slim C, very, very comparable to both of my Strats. Feels much the same. And okay, this is where I want to get into this about the Lake Placid blue. It's a little dark for what I expect Lake Placid blue to be. I'm not sure that that's really what I'd call this, and here's why. Let me set this down. Well, no, let me hold it like that for a second. My old Strat Plus that I've had for years and years, well, this is Lake Placid blue. Now, it's an old guitar. I've had it for a long time. Um, and I'm sure it's faded a bit, maybe even yellowed to an extent. But I've got an old picture. You can kind of see it there. I don't think it's faded that much, and you can see the difference. So there is that. Let me put this back. But mind you, I'm not complaining about the color at all. I think it's gorgeous. So, as far as the rest of it, well, build quality wise, again, the fretboard is nice, the fretwork is really nice. Tuning machines, they are Kluson style, unbranded. It doesn't say Squier or anything on there. They're just plain old Kluson style tuners. Uh, it just feels nice and solid. There was, however, one big issue. It doesn't seem like anybody bothered to do any kind of a setup on this guitar before it left the factory. The action was a mile high, just almost to the point of being unplayable. Intonation was, I don't want to say significantly off, but it's off on most of the strings. So before I could really play the guitar, I had to go ahead and just lower the action quite a bit. I did a little bit, just a rough intonating of the guitar, just to make it playable. So that, if you're a new guitar player or if you're just not really familiar with how to set up your guitar, that'd be kind of a bummer pulling this guitar out of the box and finding it like that. However, like I said, I haven't done a full setup yet, but just lowering the action has made a big difference. It plays much nicer now. So, but other than that, nothing real significant to say as far as knocks on the build quality. It overall, again, it doesn't feel like a cheaply made guitar. It feels quite nice. Again, very comfortable neck, no fret sprout whatsoever. They could have probably polished the frets a little bit better. They were just a little bit gritty, maybe still to an extent are, but again, I'm going to do all that down the road here anyway. So, but other than that, I give it high marks on the build quality. Very nice. But ultimately, it comes down to how it sounds. Well, let's check it out. Well, folks, there you have it. The Squier Paranormal Series Toronado. It's a pretty guitar. It really is a pretty guitar, and quite honestly, I think it sounds pretty much as good as it looks. Now, that really is the one area I think this guitar has a real advantage over the Harley Bentons that I reviewed. I really do feel like the Squier Atomic humbuckers just sound better than the Roswell humbuckers do. Not by a whole lot, but to my ear, there certainly was a difference. So there's that. Uh, Other than that, though, the quality of this guitar is really good, much more than what I expected out of a Squier. It certainly has changed my mind, or at least my long standing opinion about Squiers. And I guess that's the most important thing I wanted to find out when I got this guitar, because it basically says it all. Would this guitar inspire me to consider buying another Squier? And truthfully, I have to say, It actually has. I will have Squier on my radar. Certainly when they put out, I'm not sure I'm gonna buy a Squier Bullet or even an Affinity. But maybe as a mod platform, if I come up with an idea for a Tele or Strat style guitar, or any of the offsets that I want to just do crazy things with. But as far as a good to go guitar, I think this thing is just fine. So again, it's pretty, it sounds good. What more do you want? Between the $300 to $400 range, I think it's worth every penny. Not much more to say. So I will cut it off right there. I do want to once again remind you, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And of course, you're going to want to ring the bell so you get notifications. And beyond that, I'll take all the thumbs up that I can get. And of course, if you hated the video, don't lie. I don't want anyone to lie. Always be honest. If you hated it, go ahead and hit the other one. You're not going to break my heart. And aside from that, share it. Comment. Please comment. I love the comments. I try to respond. If nothing else, I'm going to hit that little heart button, or I at least like to let you know in some way that I did look at your comments. Some of them I reply to, but certainly if it requires a reply. So I'm going to do that. So please comment early, often, as many times as you like. And other than that, well, let's all be good. Let's all just be good. Take care.